Yo, a mic check, a mic check, a mic check, and we back at it again with another video. I am doing Full Metal Alchemist, episode 4. I call this episode, it may not be the name of this episode, but I know this episode affectionately as the Shao Tucker episode. Fuck Shao Tucker. Oh, ass nigga, I hate Shao Tucker. So, episode 4 starts with Bas Gron, the Iron Blood Alchemist. I don't know who this nigga is. Wait, he's getting hit. Bass Ron, the Iron Blood Alchemist, is being attacked by a strange man. He is an assassin, and he says he is punishing alchemists for playing God. So basically, buddy, he's like, "Yo, who are you? Like, you the foolish alchemist playing the role of God." You know, he crazy, man. And then nigga said, "Nigga, fuck out of here." So he makes these little who makes these like cannons out of the ground, like alchemy type shit. So he makes these big ass cannons, shoots the what's the names at him, and Buddy dodging and shit. He's bobbing and weaving. Like he ain't, like, I don't see that shit. So Buddy's like, yeah, you good as hell. The force is with this. Force is strong with this one. So Buddy dodges up and shit. But basically, he's like, okay, you're quick. So he gets him into this. He starts forming like these four walls around him. So like, locks him in there. He's like, yeah, that's it for you, nigga. So he start walking up. Like, who do you? You done tried the wrong alchemist. He start walking up. That nigga says, ugh. He's like, impossible. How is this? And then nigga just electrocuted his ass, lit his ass up, did eat his ass. I'm like, I can't believe he did that shit. Boy is a wild man. That is a wild man. One more thing. That's a wild guy. So then it cuts to Hughes Armstrong talking about, I guess, what just happened. Hughes is the person placed in charge of the investigation. They're trying to figure out, okay, why is he killing alchemists? What's happening? And it ends, like, the scene is kind of short. It just shows, like, the buddy on the ground, all of the officers around him, and then Bradley comes up, and Bradley is like, Hughes, you're in charge of this case? He's like, yeah. He's like, if you need anything, you let me know, and we will give reinforcements. This man is a traitor, and he must be stopped. Um, then it cuts to the Eastern Division, and the first shot of the Eastern Division, that's Mustang's gang. The first chance they get to see Mustang's gang. They speak on a loser named Yoki, who Ed and Al. Yoki worked in the mines, like in this like mine town, and he was like manipulating the mine or the people in the mine for his own ends, right? Like for his own power or whatever. So Ed and Al exposed his ass, like, yo, you're not really doing what you're saying. You're just using this mine like to finesse motherfuckers. And they got him taken out of taken out of the government and all that stuff. Then they breaking it down, and their Lieutenant Fury is trying to make like a radio, like a debrief. He's trying to get their radio, but he can't get it to work. He's like, "Yo, Hawkeye, I don't know why it's not working for me." And then Ed goes in there, fixes that shit. Easy money, easy money. That's what Ed do. So after he fixes the broken radio, he goes to see Colonel Mustang. Goes to see Colonel Mustang. Ooh. Oh, excuse me. And they speak on Cornello and his alchemy and all the stuff that happened in Lior. So they break down what happened, and they still can understand how he was able to do that bioalchemic things and like how he was able to transmute the chimera. Like they didn't, and they were going off on that, and they were like, man, we don't really understand bioalchemy. Maybe that's a component to get in the philosopher's zone. So Mustang was like, you know what? I know a bioalchemist who probably could be able to help you guys. And then Ed was like, he ain't trusting nothing. So he was like, Why would you do that? Why would you help us, nigga? Fuck out of here. And then Buddy was like, Mustang was like, bro, it's simple. I'd rather do you a favor than owe you a debt. And then you get nigga. So he gets that. He gets the contact from the leader of chimera research and like bioalchemic situations, Shao Tucker. Tucker made so they're in the car headed to Tucker's house. It's Mustang and the Elrics. And on the drive over, he's sorry. I was tired. I was a little tired. On the drive over, Tucker. Oh, bleh. I'm so sorry. On the drive over, Mustang is explaining how Tucker became state certified. And they said 2 years ago, he was able to create a chimera that understood human speech. And Ed was like, human speech, so it could talk? And they're like, yeah, it could talk, but it could only say one thing. Or it only said one thing. And it was, I want to die. I want to die, you know? And it didn't eat until it got what it wanted. So when they get there, they get to the place, they're marveling like, wow, that's a nice house. It's a pretty big house. Ed looks up, big old mutt, fucking dived on his dumb ass. So this big ass dog jumped on him, and Shao and his small daughter, um, what's Shorty's name? It'll say Nina. So Shao Tucker and Nina comes outside, and he's like, I told you to keep the dog in a chain. What the fuck? So I was mad. You could tell I was mad. I was writing my notes. I said, Shao started his fucking lies. And if y'all listen really closely to his voice, if you watch Yu Yu Hakusho, which you should, I'm doing the Yu Yu Hakusho channel too, nigga. Shao Tucker is Hiei, bro. That nigga is Hiei. The three-eyed demon Hiei. Well, I don't know if that is, I meant to do like an eye. I know that's like, I've been learning about like occult stuff. I'm trying to stay away from occult stuff. I'm not a cult. And I pray to God every day. So, yeah. I'm cognizant I did the little same. You know what I mean? I ain't trying to do it. I'm keep doing it. I'm sorry. But, so yeah, three eye, Jugan eye, big ass eye on his forehead. And he asks why they were interested in bioalchemy in the first place. Basically, he was like, yo, if you want to know my tricks of my sleeve, I got to know the tricks of yours. And the boys tell their origin story, you know. Mother passes away from sickness. They want to do anything they can to revive her. They try to transmute her. They open up the portal. Da, da, da. He loses his arm, his leg. His brother loses his whole body. He bonds his soul to a suit of armor. And then he was like, after that, he's like, okay, I hear you. I hear you. Yeah. He said, you can go through my laboratory, this fucking nightmare fuel looking ass laboratory. I'm like, are you serious? This might be my last video today. I'm a little tired. I might take a little nap. I'm sleepy. But so basically the Elrics enter and after the lot they go to this creepy ass fucking. I'm gonna show some shots of just how creepy this fucking laboratory is, bro. Then they go through. The Elrics enter an extensive library and they locked in. You know what I mean? They was like, man, look, we got a couple of prodigies. Like their ability to lock in is unmatched. And it were laser focus until Nina is watching like Alphonse. She keeps going back and forth and staying like, hey, Alphonse, you know what I mean? And it reminds me like these kids is only like 13, 14. Like they're really young as hell in this whole story. Nina's probably like 7, 8. So you know what I mean? It's natural for young kids like that to play and stuff. And you know, she got Buddy out of his comfort zone, got him back playing and stuff. And you know, and they start playing horsey or whatever. And Alex joins in on the fun because Ed is like, yo, Al, what are you doing? We here to research. Why are you playing horsey? And then big old Alexander, the big ass dog, jumps on his ass again. Same way again. Ed had to throw the gauntlet down on his ass. He was like, man, you think you're gonna defeat me? You mangy mutt? I ain't met with Elric, the full metal alchemist. He goes crazy or so. He challenges that nigga. They they end up having fun playing and stuff. Habit picks the boys up at like later in the day, and then he reminds Shao Tucker, "Hey Shao, bitch ass nigga." He said, "Don't forget about your assessment days coming up. Your impending assessment day." Mm. Ooh. Sheesh. Nina comforts Shao, and he starts to plot on his stupid ass because she asks him, "What is assessment day, Dad? What's assessment day, Daddy?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's basically every year, state alchemist has to be tested on his research, and you get to decide whether they get to decide whether or not you're still instated as a state alchemist or not." So that cuts out of there. Then Ed and Al come back the next day, and Nina tells them the story about her mom and how her mom ran away 2 years ago. Like she hasn't seen her mom for 2 years. She says she misses her dad spending time, and that fact when she says like, "Yo, I miss my dad being around." Whenever he's in the lab, he gets really distant. That's when Ed and Al kind of had a flash to home to their dad. Yeah, you know what I mean? They ain't say his dad's name, so I try not to overdo shit. I mean, I'm trying not to goddamn. Y'all know who it is, a Hohenheim. You know, Hohenheim, stupid ass. You know what I mean? But here, their pops. I'll just say their pops for right now. So since that made them think about their dad, Ed decides, hey man, all right, we're gonna have some fun today, man. He's like Alex, I bet you look like you need some exercise. You mean you might, but he's like, huh, bro. So they go outside. Ed turns his hand into this weird, like it looks like him with a fucking metal head. Truthfully, it looks weird. And then Al turns his body into like a big slide, so she can slide down and stuff. Like they were being real good big brothers, man. They was having fun with Shorty. And Shao, while they outside having fun, you see Shao in the lab just tweaking, head in his hand. Get your head out your hands, nigga. I would have smacked the shit out of Get your fucking head out your hand, nigga. But he was just down bad. And then it flashes back to Hughes and Armstrong in Hughes's office having a conversation about this killer, this really an assassin at this point. And then Hughes is just like, why would he attack the strongest state certified alchemist? He's like, if it's just about getting back in the military, he could just kill regular military officers. But he's only going after the strongest people. Like, it's more dangerous to do that. And then that's when Armstrong had his theory. He's like, possibly the state alchemists are the ones who he's targeting. But it's supposed to be that state alchemists are like servants to the people or something like that. And he's like, all alchemists are forthright and on their pursuit of knowledge until they become state certified. And then they become hounds of the government, dogs of the military. They got to do whatever they pretty much are told. Mm. So he's thinking maybe it's that somebody who thinks we're not doing our job. Maybe it's somebody who is jealous of the money and the resources that state alchemists require and bring home. And he also threw the last one out. He's like, maybe it's someone who has not forgotten the role that state alchemists have played in the Ishvalan Civil War. What they start calling the Ishvalan War is the craziest shit ever to me. They eventually call it. I'm just gonna say it because I don't know when it's gonna happen. But they eventually call that shit the Ishvalan War of Extermination. Like that's crazy as fuck. That ain't no civil war, nigga. Y'all was wiping niggas out. So Shao talks about his fear of not being certified, and now his wife left him with nothing 2 years ago. And he can't go through that again, and last year they weren't impressed by his what's the name? Shut your bitch ass up. So then he offers to play with Nina and Alex. This fucker. That's literally what I wrote down. This is literally how mad I was when I wrote that. I was like, this fucker turned his daughter and dog into a Camaro. He joined them because Ed and Al come back and see him the next day. They're researching. They like Nina and Alex. They feel like it's a little family they made, and they go to his lab and stuff, and they see this Chimera and this child. He's like, I've done it, and they're like, wow, it really understands human speech. So Ed starts petting the Chimera, and she's like, Edward, and then Nina called him Big Brother Ed, right? So she was like, Big Brother Ed, and he's like, oh fuck no, like Ed knew. I said Ed was amazed at first until he realized, and he was sick. Nigga, I was sick. Yo, that nigga said, damn, right? Because that boy asked him, he's like, hey, when did your wife leave? 2 years ago. And when were you first certified? 2 years ago. He's saying, where are Nina and Alex? And he was like, damn brat figured out so quickly. He was mad as hell. Nigga, you better get choked out, bitch. So once he said that shit, because he did the same exact thing to his wife, and that's what Ed started saying. He's like, this ain't the first time you did this shit. You did this to your wife 2 years ago to become state certified. Like, you just got away with that shit. You're not getting away with this shit no more. So Sal starts talking about human experiments and saying that human experiments are necessary for science and to move our reality forward. And he started comparing himself to Ed and Al. He's like, y'all just like me. Y'all did human transmutation. I'm doing human transmutation. Y'all are no different or better than me. And Ed can't handle that. He's like, no, fuck that. I'm not the same as you. Like, you're deliberately destroying lives. We were trying to bring our mother back. Like, one is y'all both is the only thing that's similar. I said they're two sides of the same coin, but I would say in those situations they're the same because it's just desperation. They were so desperate in those moments that they would have. Ed and Al was desperate to see their mother again. Shao, loser ass, just desperate to not go to be broke. Really, he just didn't want to be broke. He named himself. They can't. That's another big point. Once you become a chimera, once you're transmuted, you cannot come back what you were. You cannot revert back to being Nina and Alex. They are just the chimera version of both of them. And it's just really sad. And Mustang can see the parallel why Ed refuses to adhere to it. That boy Scar enters. Big lights on his ass. I'm like, okay, Scar, Skinner. So the nigga Scar enters for one reason only, to claim your life. He loves saying that. He's like, foolish alchemist must be punished for playing the role of God. That's my guy. I love Scar. Scar's one of my favorite characters in that bitch. And so Buddy Shaw was like, how'd you get in here? What happened to the military guards outside? They dead. He killed their ass. And he goes to Shaw. He just grabbed his face. He loved the face. He just face palm a nigga. He face palmed it. He said, nigga. Face palmed his ass. Like, you can't grab no grown ass man by his face. What the fuck? We gonna have to fight. You gonna grab me by my face. So he face palmed this nigga. And basically he starts looking at the Nina character. And he's like, yo, you know what I mean? Once you've been turned into this creature, you can never revert back to what you was. And he's like, I'm gonna show you some kindness and some grace. So he ends up killing the Nina character, sets her free. And at the end, he takes off his glasses to show off a big scar down his forehead and his red eyes, brown skin. All of these are the signs of Ishvalan. So, you know what I mean? Just leading into what's next. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Tap in with the next video. Like, comment, subscribe. Check that out, y'all. Watch me.
Mama Celine, what you wanna do? Vamping every my Marceline. Baby, what you want? Rolling around with you to the early morning, my Marceline. Oh, just you and me. Yo, she come alive in the night, don't care about wrong or right, what is fun.